The ship drifted in the cold dark of space like a dead thing. It moved slowly near the edge of a purple nebula, spinning in a lazy circle. No lights, no signals. Just silence. High. Observer Maval watched the ship on her screen. She had studied many strange things in her long life. She had seen dead stars and living planets. She had watched species rise and fall. But she had never seen anything like this ship. It was ugly. That was her first thought. The Valari built their ships like art. Smooth curves. Soft colors. This ship was different. It was made of hard angles and thick metal. It looked like something built for war. Or survival. Run a full scan, she ordered her crew. The scanning officer, a young Valari with pale blue skin, worked at his station. His 4 fingers moved quickly over the controls. Then he stopped. His large black eyes went wide. "High Observer," he said. His voice was shaking. "The classification system is returning an error." "What kind of error?" "It says the ship comes from a Class-15 world." He looked at her with fear. "That cannot be right. Class-15 worlds do not have life." "They cannot have life." Maval felt something cold move through her body. The Valari had created the world classification system thousands of years ago. Class 1 worlds were paradise, safe, gentle, perfect for life. The numbers went up as danger increased. Class 10 worlds had bad weather and some predators. Class 12 worlds had toxic air or extreme temperatures. No one had ever found a Class 15 world with intelligent life. Class 15 was death, crushing gravity, poison atmosphere, radiation, predators everywhere, extreme heat and cold, storms that could destroy cities. Nothing could survive a Class 15 world. Nothing could think. Nothing could build ships. "Check the scan again," Maval said. The officer checked. And checked again. The answer was always the same. "The ship comes from the 3rd planet of a yellow star," he reported. "The locals call it Earth. Gravity is nearly 10 times our homeworld. The atmosphere contains high levels of oxygen, a corrosive gas. The planet has extreme temperature changes. It has millions of predator species. It has disease. It has natural disasters. It has..." He stopped reading. His hands were shaking too much. Maval took the datapad from him. She read it herself. With each line, her fear grew. This planet had earthquakes that split the ground open. It had waves of water taller than buildings. It had storms that threw lightning from the sky. The creatures there killed each other for food. They fought over territory. They carried tiny living things inside their bodies that could cause death. And somehow, something on that planet had become intelligent, had built a ship, had come here. "Contact the Confederacy Council," Maval said. Her voice was calm, but inside she was screaming. "Tell them we have a situation." The message reached the council in minutes. The response came in hours. Commander Thran arrived with 3 warships. He was a military leader, tall for a Valari, with dark purple skin and cold eyes. He did not believe in taking chances. "We should destroy it," Thran said as he stood on Maval's bridge. "Whatever is on that ship, we do not want it alive." "We do not know what is on the ship," Maval argued. "We are scientists. We are explorers. We do not kill without reason. The reason is survival. A Class 15 species could be incredibly dangerous. Or they could be peaceful." Thran made a sound of disgust. "Nothing from a Deathworld is peaceful. Their entire existence is violence. They would have to kill to survive. Every day. Every moment. They would be monsters." Maval looked at the drifting ship on her screen. It was still silent. Still dark. But now she noticed something she had missed before. A small light was blinking on the hull. Weak, slow, almost dead. That is a distress signal, she said quietly. Thren saw it too. His expression did not change. A trick. They want us to come closer. Or they need help. You want to help a monster? Maval thought about this. She thought about what the Valari believed. They believed in knowledge. They believed in understanding. They believed that fear was the enemy of wisdom. I want to understand, she said. And I cannot understand something if I destroy it first. Thren was not happy. But the council had given Maval authority over this mission. She was the scientist. He was only the soldier. Fine, he said. But my ships will be ready. If anything goes wrong, I will destroy that vessel in seconds. Maval nodded. She turned to her crew. Open a communication channel. All frequencies. Let us see if anyone answers. The channel opened. Static filled the bridge. Then silence. Then more static. They waited. Minutes passed. Maval was about to give up when something happened. A sound came through the speakers. It was low and rough. A voice. Speaking words she did not understand. But the translator was working. Slowly, it began to make sense. This is UESS Horizon, requesting assistance. Ship damaged. Crew injured. The voice was deep, powerful. It made the air itself seem to shake. Maval felt her hearts beating fast. Both of them, on the dark ship, something moved. Lights flickered on, one by one. Weak and red like blood. And in the command room of the Horizon, Captain Taiho opened his eyes. His head was pounding. His body hurt everywhere. But he was alive. He looked around at his broken ship. At his injured crew. At the strange vessels waiting outside his window. He did not know who they were. He did not know if they were friends or enemies. But he knew one thing. He and his crew had survived worse. They were human. Survival was what they did. He reached for the communication panel and spoke again. This is Captain Taiho of the UESS Horizon. We come in peace. Please respond. Outside, Maval listened. And for the first time in her long life, she felt truly afraid of an answer. Captain Taiho pulled himself up from the floor. His body screamed with pain. His left arm was bruised. His ribs felt cracked. Blood dripped from a cut on his forehead. But he had no time for pain. His ship was dying. Red emergency lights filled the command room. Alarms screamed from every direction. Smoke drifted through the air. The Horizon had gone through something terrible. A wormhole. Unexpected. Unstable. It had thrown them across the galaxy and nearly torn the ship apart. Report, Taiho called out. His voice was strong, even though his body was weak. Lieutenant Yuna crawled out from under a fallen panel. Her black hair was messy with dust. A bruise covered half her face. But her eyes were sharp and alert. She was a soldier. She had seen worse. Engines are at 20%, she said. Life support is failing. We have maybe 6 hours of air. Half the crew is in emergency cryosleep. The others. She paused. Sergeant Q is badly hurt. Dr. Wan is treating him now. Taiho nodded. And Minji? Here, Captain. Engineer Minji appeared from a side door. She was small, barely reaching Taiho's shoulder, but her hands were covered in grease and her eyes burned with determination. I can fix the engines. I can fix life support. I just need time. You have 6 hours. I only need 4. She smiled, then ran back to engineering. Taiho looked out the main window. 3 strange ships floated in the distance. They were beautiful. Smooth and curved like drops of water. Nothing like human ships. Nothing like anything he had ever seen. Aliens, Yuna said quietly. She stood beside him now. Real aliens, yes. Tejo felt strange emotions. Fear, wonder, hope. Humanity had always asked if they were alone in the universe. Now they had their answer. Are they friendly? Yuna asked. I do not know. But they answered our distress signal. That is something. On the Valari flagship, Commander Thran watched the human ship with growing unease. His scanning officers were sending him reports. Each one was worse than the last. The creatures have incredibly dense bones, one officer reported. Their skeleton could survive impacts that would shatter ours completely. They have redundant organs, another added. 2 kidneys, 2 lungs. One of each could fail, and they would still survive. Their blood carries iron, a toxic metal. It flows through their entire body. They heal at an alarming rate. Cuts close in days. Broken bones fix themselves in weeks. Thran felt sick. These creatures were built for damage, built for violence, built for survival in ways that seemed impossible. Eye observer Maival listened to the same reports, but she heard something different. She did not hear monsters. She heard survivors. They come from a death world, she said softly. Of course their bodies are strong. They had to be strong to live. Strong enough to kill us easily, Thran replied, or strong enough to protect us. Thran made an angry sound. You are a fool, Mival. A hopeful fool. Perhaps, but I am the one in charge. She turned to her communication officer. Open a video channel. I want to see them. The channel opened. And for the first time, Valari and Human looked at each other. Mival saw Captain Tejo on her screen. He was tall by Valari standards. His skin was a warm brown color. His hair was black and short. His eyes were dark and steady. He looked tired, hurt, but there was something in his face that she recognized. Calm, control, leadership. Then he smiled. Mival gasped. The other Valari stepped back in fear. The human had teeth. So many teeth. White and hard and sharp. Teeth designed for tearing flesh. For biting. For killing. Tejo saw their reaction. He stopped smiling immediately. I apologize, he said. His voice was strange to hear. Deep and rough. In our culture, a smile is a sign of friendship. I did not mean to frighten you. Mival recovered quickly. She was a scientist. She could not let fear control her. I understand. We are not used to such things. Your biology is very different from ours, I noticed. Tejo looked at her carefully. Mival was thin, fragile looking. Her skin was pale blue. Her eyes were huge and black. She had no visible teeth. Her fingers were long and delicate. She looked like something that would break easily, but she had answered his call. That meant something. My ship is damaged, he continued. My crew is hurt. We came through an unstable wormhole by accident. We did not mean to enter your space. We are explorers, not invaders. Explorers, Mival repeated. From a Class-15 world. Do you know what that means? Tejo shook his head. It means your planet is classified as a death world. The highest level of danger. We did not believe intelligent life could exist on such worlds. Tejo was quiet for a moment. Then he laughed. The sound was loud and strange. The Valari did not know what to think. Earth is not so bad, he said. We have beautiful places. Mountains, oceans, forests. Yes, there is danger. But there is also beauty. You have predators that hunt you. We have pets that we love. Your planet has storms that kill thousands. We have sunny days that make us happy. You carry diseases in your bodies. We carry hope in our hearts. Mival stared at him. She did not understand. How could creatures from such a terrible place speak of love and hope and beauty? How could they survive so much pain and still smile? We need help, Tejo said simply. Will you help us? Mival looked at Thren. The commander's face was hard and angry. He shook his head. Do not trust them, his eyes said. They are dangerous. But Mival had spent her whole life searching for new knowledge, new understanding. She had never turned away from something strange. She would not start now. Yes, she said. We will help you. Thren turned away in disgust. But he did not stop her. Thank you, Tejo said. His voice was warm, grateful, human. Mival ended the call and gave orders to prepare a medical team. They would board the human ship. They would see these Deathworld creatures up close. She did not know it yet, but her life was about to change forever. All of their lives were. Because nothing could prepare them for what humans truly were. Nothing could prepare them for the truth. The Valari medical team wore their strongest hazard suits. The suits were designed for toxic planets, for radiation zones, for the most dangerous places in the galaxy. They had never been used for meeting another species until now. Mival led the team herself. 4 medics followed her. They carried equipment and medicine. Their hands were shaking. Their hearts were beating fast. The airlock opened. The Valari stepped onto the human ship. The first thing Mival noticed was the gravity. It was so heavy. Every step felt like walking through water. Her legs hurt. Her back ached. And this was only Earth normal gravity. The humans lived with this weight every moment of their lives. The second thing she noticed was the temperature. It was cold to her, but not too cold. Acceptable. The air smelled strange. Thick. Full of something. Sharp. Oxygen. The corrosive gas that humans breathed like it was nothing. A human was waiting for them. It was the doctor, Dr. Juan. He was shorter than Captain Tejo. His face was softer. His voice was gentle. Thank you for coming, he said. He moved slowly, carefully, like he was trying not to frighten them. Please follow me. They walked through the ship. Everything was damaged. Broken panels. Sparking wires. Burnt metal. The humans had survived a disaster that would have killed any Valari crew instantly. They reached the medical room. And that is when the Valari truly understood what humans were. Sergeant Q sat on a metal table. He was a big man. Muscles covered his body. Scars marked his skin. Old scars. Many scars. A lifetime of damage written on his flesh. And through his shoulder, a metal rod stuck out. It had gone in the front and come out the back. Blood covered his chest. Red blood. Iron blood. He was awake. He was talking. He was making jokes. Hey, Doc, Q said to Juan. These are new friends? They look nervous. Tell them I do not bite. He smiled, showing his teeth. The Valari medic stepped back. Sergeant, please do not scare them, Juan said calmly. He put on gloves. He picked up tools. This will hurt. It already hurts. Just do it. Juan grabbed the metal rod. With one smooth motion, he pulled it out. Blood poured from the wound. Q made a small sound. Not a scream. Just a grunt. A noise of mild discomfort. Then Juan began to clean the wound. Stitch it closed. Bandage it. The lead Valari medic collapsed. She fell straight to the floor. The others caught her just in time. Is she okay? Juan asked with concern. She fainted, Mival said. Her voice was weak. From shock. What we just saw. That would kill any Valari. The pain alone would stop our hearts. Q looked confused. It was just a metal rod. I have had worse. Worse. He had experienced worse than a rod through his shoulder. And he was still alive. Still talking. Still joking. Your species, Maval said slowly. What are you? Q thought about this. We are human. We survive. That is what we do. Over the next hours, the Valari learned more. They learned things that terrified them. Things that amazed them. Things that changed everything they believed. They learned that humans could lose limbs and still live. Could lose blood and keep fighting. Could break bones and heal them stronger than before. Their bodies were machines of survival. Damage meant nothing to them. They learned that humans carried tiny organisms inside their bodies. Bacteria, trillions of them, living in their stomachs, on their skin, in their mouths. Any other species would die from such infection. Humans needed them to survive. They learned about the human immune system, an army inside every body, fighting every moment of every day against invaders, viruses, bacteria, parasites. The human body was a constant battlefield. They learned about adrenaline, the chemical that activated when humans were in danger. It made them faster, stronger. It turned off pain. A wounded human was not weaker. A wounded human was more dangerous. Engineer Minji showed them the engine room. She had fixed the engines with broken tools, with spare parts from other machines, with pieces of her own equipment. When she ran out of proper materials, she used whatever she could find. Metal from walls, wire from lights, her own belt and bootlaces. Humans adapt, she explained. We solve problems. We find ways. We never give up. Lieutenant Yuna stood guard the entire time. She had not slept in 40 hours. When the Valari asked how this was possible, she shrugged. I had coffee, she said. What is coffee? A drink. It is made from beans. The beans come from a plant. The plant makes a poison to kill insects. We drink that poison. It keeps us awake. The Valari medic who had recovered from fainting almost fainted again. Maval returned to her ship that night. She was exhausted, overwhelmed. Her understanding of the universe had been shattered and rebuilt in a single day. She sent a report to the Confederacy Council. She chose her words carefully. The humans are not monsters, she wrote. They are survivors. Their planet tried to kill them for millions of years. It threw every danger at them. Predators, disease, disaster, cold, heat, poison, and they survived all of it. Not by being stronger than their world, but by being too stubborn to die. They are dangerous, yes, but not because they want to hurt us. They are dangerous because they refuse to be hurt. They adapt. They overcome. They persist. I believe they can be our allies. I believe they can be our friends. But we must approach them with respect, not fear. She sent the report. And she waited. Commander Thren sent his own report. His words were different. He spoke of threat levels, of containment, of prevention. He did not understand yet. None of them did. But they would learn, because somewhere in the damaged ship called Horizon, Captain Taeho had intercepted both reports. His face was calm as he read them, but his eyes were thoughtful. They are afraid of us, he told his crew. One of them wants to help. The other wants to lock us away. What do we do, Captain? Yuna asked. Taeho looked at his people. Hurt but alive. Tired but standing. Broken but not beaten. We show them who we really are, he said. We show them that humans are more than survivors. We are helpers. We are friends. We are family to those we love. He stood up. His ribs screamed with pain. He ignored it. We show them the best of humanity. And we hope it is enough. The Valari border station was beautiful. Crystal towers rose from a floating platform in space. Soft lights glowed everywhere. Gardens grew under glass domes. Music played gently through the halls. It was peaceful, calm, safe. The humans felt like animals in a cage. The horizon was docked at a far section of the station, away from the main areas, away from the public. The humans were given comfortable rooms, good food, medical care, but they were not allowed to leave their section. Diplomatic processing, the Valari called it. Prison, Lieutenant Yuna called it. Captain Tejo remained patient. He understood fear. He understood caution. The Valari had never met a species like humanity. They needed time to adjust. 1 week passed. Then 2. The Confederacy Council debated what to do with the humans. Some wanted to welcome them. Others wanted to send them far away. A few, like Commander Thren, wanted something worse. Mival visited every day. She brought questions and curiosity. She wanted to learn everything about Earth, about human history, about human culture. She learned about their wars. Terrible wars that killed millions. She was horrified. She learned about their kindness. Strangers helping strangers. People risking their lives to save others. She was amazed. She learned about their art, their music, their stories. She found them beautiful. You are contradictions, she told Tejo one evening. You can be so cruel and so kind, so violent and so gentle. I do not understand how both exist in the same species. Tejo smiled softly. Humans choose, every day, every moment. We choose who we want to be. Some choose anger. Some choose love. We are not defined by our worst members. We are defined by our choices. Mival thought about this for a long time. Then the disaster came. It started with a warning signal. A star nearby was collapsing. This was not unusual. Stars died all the time. But this star was dying too fast, too violently. It was sending a wave of radiation across space, directly toward a Valari colony ship. The colony ship was called the Gentle Promise. It carried 12,000 Valari, families, children, elderly. They were traveling to a new home, a new beginning. Now they were going to die. The radiation wave would reach them in 2 hours. Their shields could not block it. The nearest Valari ships were 3 hours away. Too slow, too far. Mival received the news on the station. She felt her heart break. 12,000 lives, gone. Nothing could be done. Then Captain Tejo appeared beside her. We can help, he said. Mival stared at him. What? The horizon. We can reach them in time. We can evacuate the ship, or tow it to safety. The radiation would kill you. It would hurt us. It would not kill us. Not immediately. We can survive long enough. Commander Thren arrived, his face hard. This is a trick. They want to escape. They want to use this tragedy for their own freedom. Tejo's eyes flashed with anger, but his voice stayed calm. We want to help, that is all. 12,000 lives are worth more than our comfort. Why? Thren demanded. They are not your people. They are strangers, aliens. Why would you risk your lives for them? Tejo was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke simply, because that is what good people do. The debate lasted 10 minutes. It felt like 10 years. Finally, Mival made the decision. Let them go. Let them try. The horizon launched into space. The engines roared. The ship moved faster than it should have. Engineer Minji had worked miracles again. The radiation hit them 30 minutes into the flight. It came through the hull like invisible fire. Alarms screamed. The crew felt their skin burn. Their eyes watered. Blood dripped from noses. Headaches pounded in skulls. Keep going, Tejo ordered. His voice was rough with pain. Lieutenant Yuna navigated by instinct. The instruments were failing. Screens flickered and died. She flew by feeling alone. Years of training. Years of experience. All of it focused on one goal. Reach the colony ship. Save the lives. They reached it with 20 minutes to spare. The gentle promise was beautiful. A long silver vessel filled with terrified people. The Valarian side could see the radiation wave coming. A wall of death moving toward them. Then they saw the horizon. The ugly human ship. The Deathworld vessel. Coming to save them. The horizon attached to the colony ship. Tejo's voice came through every speaker. "This is Captain Tejo of the human vessel Horizon. We are gonna pull you to safety. Hold on." The engines fired. Both ships moved. Slowly at first, then faster. The radiation wave chased them. Closer. Closer. The crew was dying. They did not stop. Dr. Juan moved between stations, giving medicine, giving hope, giving strength. Sergeant Q stood at the door, ready to help anyone who fell. Minji screamed at her engines, begged them, threatened them. They answered. They gave more power than they had. Yuna's hands were steady. Her eyes were burning. Blood ran down her face. She did not blink. Tejo stood at the center of his bridge, watching, waiting, believing. The radiation wave reached them. It passed over the colony ship. The Valari shields flickered and held. They held because the horizon was taking the worst of it. The human ship was acting as a shield. 30 seconds. The longest 30 seconds of any life on either ship. Then they were clear. The wave passed. The danger was over. The horizon drifted in space. Its engines were dead. Its hull was black with burns. The crew was barely conscious, but alive. All of them alive. And on the gentle promise, 12,000 Valari were crying with joy. The Valari rescue ships arrived an hour later. They found the horizon floating beside the colony ship, a broken guardian, a wounded protector. Sergeant Q was the first to emerge when they boarded. He had radiation burns on his arms. His eyes were bloodshot. He was carrying a Valari child in his arms. The child had been separated from her parents in the chaos. Q had found her crying alone. He had held her during the worst of it, told her stories she could not understand, sang songs in a strange language. She was still holding his finger when the rescue team arrived. Mival came aboard the horizon. She walked through the damaged halls. She saw the crew lying in medical beds, pale, weak, suffering. They had done this for strangers. They had hurt themselves for people they had never met. People who feared them. People who had kept them locked away. She found Tejo last. He was sitting against a wall. His eyes were closed. His breathing was shallow. But when she approached, he opened his eyes and smiled. That smile. Those teeth. They did not scare her anymore. Did everyone make it? He asked. Double quotes, yes. All 12,000. Good. He closed his eyes again. That is good. Maval sat beside him. For a long time, she said nothing. Then she asked the question that had been burning inside her since this mission began. Why? You could have stayed safe. You owed us nothing. Why did you do this? Tejo opened his eyes. They were tired but warm. Because that is what humans do, he said. We help. We protect. We love. Even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts. That is what makes us human. Maval felt tears on her face. She had not cried in many years. I think, she said softly, I finally understand you. Tejo smiled again. And this time, she smiled back. The Grand Chamber of the Confederacy Council was the largest room in the galaxy. Thousands of seats rose in circles around a central platform. Representatives from hundreds of species filled those seats. They had traveled from every corner of known space to witness this moment, the trial of humanity. That is what some called it. Others called it a judgment, a decision, a moment that would change everything. Captain Tejo stood on the central platform with his crew. They wore clean uniforms now. Their wounds were healing. Their strength was returning. But they still looked tired. still looked damaged. They had given everything. And now they waited to learn if it was enough. High Observer Myval stood to present her report. She had spent weeks preparing, gathering evidence, building arguments. She believed in these humans. Now she had to make others believe too. Members of the council, she began. You have heard the stories. You have seen the footage. You know what these humans did. They flew into a radiation storm that would have killed any of us in minutes. They saved 12,000 lives. They asked for nothing in return. She paused. Let the words settle. I have studied many species. I have seen bravery and cowardice, kindness and cruelty. But I have never seen anything like humanity. They come from a world that should have killed them. A world that tried to kill them every day for millions of years. And they survived. Not by becoming monsters, but by becoming something else. She turned to look at the humans. At Tejo and his crew. At these strange, impossible, wonderful creatures. They became helpers. They became protectors. They became a species that looks at danger and runs toward it. Not away. They see someone in need and they act. They do not ask if it is safe. They do not ask if they will be rewarded. They simply help. Commander Thren stood up. His face was different now. Something had changed in his eyes. The hardness was still there. But there was something else too. Respect. I was wrong about them, he said. His voice was rough. Like the words hurt to speak. I saw their strength, and I feared it. I saw their power, and I called them monsters. But they used that power to save my people. Valari children. Valari families. They suffered so that strangers might live. He looked at Tejo. The two leaders met each other's eyes. I apologize, Thren said. I was a fool, and I am sorry. Tejo nodded slowly. Fear is not foolish. It is natural. What matters is what we do with it. You let us help. That took courage. Thren almost smiled. Almost. Archivist Selyu rose next. She was ancient by Valari standards. Her skin was pale as snow. Her eyes held centuries of wisdom. I keep the records of our civilization, she said. I know every species we have met. Their histories, their triumphs, their failures. I must now add humanity to those records. And I struggle to find the right words. She lifted a datapad. Read from it. Humans. Species origin, Earth. A Class-15 Deathworld. The most dangerous environment in our classification system. Evolved through constant struggle. Bodies designed for damage and recovery. Minds developed for problem-solving and adaptation. She lowered the pad. Spoke from her heart. But none of that captures what they truly are. The numbers do not show their kindness. The data does not measure their courage. The classifications cannot contain their spirit. She looked at the council. At the hundreds of species watching. I have a new classification for humanity. Not Class-15, not monsters, not threats. I call them Class Hope, because that is what they bring. Hope to themselves, to each other, to us. The chamber was silent. Then, slowly, something began. A sound, quiet at first. Then louder, applause. It spread through the room like a wave. Species that had been afraid clapped. Species that had doubted joined in. Even the most cautious voices fell silent before the noise. The council voted. It was not even close. Humanity was offered provisional membership in the Confederacy. The first Class-15 species in galactic history to receive this honor. Captain Tejo stepped forward to accept. His crew stood behind him. Yuna with her sharp eyes. Q with his scars. Juan with his gentle smile. Minji with her clever hands. Together. Family. Thank you, Tejo said. His voice filled the chamber. We did not come here looking for membership. We did not come looking for anything. We were lost, damaged, alone, and you helped us. Mival helped us when she could have turned away. Commander Thren let us try when he could have said no. You all gave us a chance. He paused. His eyes moved across the thousands of faces watching him. Humanity has always looked at the stars. We dreamed about what was out there. Who was out there? We wrote stories about aliens. Some were scary. Some were wonderful. We never knew which was true. He smiled. That human smile with those human teeth. Now we know. You are wonderful. Strange and different and confusing sometimes. But wonderful. And we are so happy to meet you. We are so glad we are not alone anymore. Lieutenant Yuna leaned toward Engineer Minji. She spoke quietly. Think they are ready for our culture? Minji grinned. They survived meeting us. They can survive anything. Korean barbecue? Eventually. Soju? Let us give them a few years first. They both laughed. The sound was strange in the grand chamber. Rough and warm and full of joy. Some species did not understand laughter yet. They would learn. The ceremony ended. The humans were surrounded by curious aliens. Questions came from every direction. What is Earth like? What do you eat? Do you really have predators as pets? Is it true you can regrow damaged organs? Tejo answered what he could. Smiled through what he could not. He felt exhausted but happy. Tired but hopeful. Mival found him later, when the crowd had thinned. She stood beside him at a great window that looked out at the stars. You changed everything today, she said. We just showed who we are. That was enough. They stood in silence for a moment. Two beings from different worlds. Different biologies. Different histories. Yet somehow the same. What will you do now? Mival asked. Go home. Report to our people. Tell them what we found. Tejo looked at the stars. At the infinite darkness filled with infinite light. Tell them they have neighbors, friends, a galaxy waiting to meet them. And then? Then we come back. We explore. We learn. We help where we can. He turned to her. That is what humans do. We reach for the stars. We never stop reaching. Mival nodded. She understood now. Finally, completely. The horizon departed the next day. Repaired and restocked. Ready for the long journey home. The crew stood at their stations. Healthy. Strong. Different than when they left Earth so long ago. They had met the galaxy. And the galaxy had met them. Minji set the course. Yuna checked the navigation. Q secured the cargo. Juan prepared the medical bay. And Captain Tejo sat in his chair, looking at the stars that would guide them home. Behind them, Mival watched the ship grow smaller. She had recorded a final note in her personal log. She read it now one last time. I have studied many species. I will study many more. But I will never forget humanity. I will never forget what I learned from them. That strength is not just about power. That survival is not just about living. That the greatest measure of any species is not what they can do to others. It is what they choose to do for others. The galaxy will never be the same. Humanity has arrived. And perhaps that is exactly what we needed. The horizon jumped to light speed. A flash of brilliance across the darkness. Then gone. But not forever. They would return. With more humans. More stories. More hope. And the stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter. As if the universe was finally complete. As if it had been waiting for humanity all along.